Hello, if we're going to describe the transformation of these quadratics, you have to recognize what's changed. So we're going from the parent function, which the parent function is y equals x squared. The only thing that's changed here is you have a 2 in the front and you have a negative 5 at the back. The 2 in the front is a vertical stretch. The negative 5 at the back means that it's going down 5. On number 2, you have 3 things that have been added to it. You have a 1/2, you have a -4, and you have a +5. The 1/2 is in front of the function, which is quadratic, so if it's in front of the function, it's going to be vertical. If it's a fraction, it's a vertical shrink. The fractions are shrink on the vertical. The -4 is inside the parentheses, so what the -4 does is opposite of what it looks like. It looks like it should move left, but we don't pay attention to our x's, so that's going to be right 4. And the +5 at the end is up 5. Number 3, you have, again, 3 changes. You have the negative that's in front. You have the 2 that is in front of the 4. Sorry, the 2 that is in front of the x. And then you have the 4 that's at the back. And I do realize that this tells us to state the vertices, and I'm going to do that after I state all the changes. Okay, the negative in front is in front of the function, so it's going to reflect across the x. The 2 that's in front of the x but inside the function is a horizontal shrink. And that 4 that's inside moves it 4 to the left. Okay. You have 3 things on this one. You have a 5, you have the negative, and you have the 1/3. The 5 is in front of the function, so it is a vertical stretch. The negative is inside the function, so it's going to reflect across the y-axis this time. And the 1/3 is in front of the x inside the function, which means that it's a horizontal shrink. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me look at this. It's a horizontal shrink, vertical stretch. That's right. Okay. On number 5, you have the 1/2, you have the -5, and you have the +7. The 1/2 is inside the function, so it's going to be horizontal, and it'll be a horizontal stretch. The -5 is inside the function, so it's going to be horizontal as well. It's going to move left or right. In this case, it moves right 5, and +7 is up 7. When we go to number 6, you have a negative, you have the 3 over 2, and you have the 4. The negative is in front of the function, so it's going to reflect across the x. Three over 2 is tricky because usually if you have a fraction it's less than 1, but in this case it's more than 1, so it's a vertical stretch. It looks like it would be a shrink, but it's not. The 4 inside the function would move 4 left. Okay, so now we're going to go back and state the vertex. I haven't done the vertex on any of these yet. The vertex on this one would be 0, because 0 is inside the parentheses with the x, and -5 is added to the end. On number 2, it would be opposite of that -4, so it's going to be +4, and then +5. 3 is tricky because you have a +4, but you also have a 2 in front of the x. And so you would have to do what makes that parentheses go to 0, so that's going to be -4 over 2, which is -2. So your vertex is -2, and there's nothing added to the end. Number 5, there's nothing added or subtracted from the x inside the parentheses, so it would be a 0, and there's nothing at the end. Number 6, again, that one's tricky. You have opposite of -5, which would be +5, divided by 1/2 is 10. So 10 is the x value, and then 7 is added to the end. Number 6, it would be -4, 0.